for the month. Is that mic on? Little red button on.
This isn't on. I'll read the interest report
Identify
first.
yourself. Identify yourself.
Huh?
Identify yourself.
Oh, Stephanie Simpson from the Treasurer's Office. So the main checking account earned $87,928.33 in October. The American Rescue Plan earned $8,053.80. And Trust Indiana, which has Economic Development, Health Department, and Human Reassessment invested in it, it earned $4,422.04 with a total interest earned in October of $100,404.17.
Very good. Very good.
And then I was asked to be here to set a certificate sale date. So in the past, I think the city's asked for some properties, but you don't have to do that first. You can let it go to certificate sale first, and then whatever doesn't sell, then the city can take. But it is ultimately the commissioner's decision whether you go ahead and give them to the city or redevelopment before you have a sale, or you can go ahead and have the sale first. It's up to you.
Do you have a recommendation?
Florinda recommends that you do a certificate sale and then give them to the city.
And in doing that, you're giving the citizens a first option at purchasing them too at a pretty reasonable price.
Yes.
Really, the second option, because it's already been sold.
It,
At a yeah.
They did not sell at the tax sale, so these normally start, you'll set after, I mean, we won't set this today, but you'll set the price. Like normally we start at $150, and then it goes up from there, the people who are interested. But we need to set a date because we've been in discussion with SRI, and that's usually in March. We would like to not have it on a Monday, like Tuesday through Friday would be better. Mondays are usually not good.
I don't have a problem with whatever date you guys suggest. I mean, I think it's...
Yeah, I think, yeah. I don't know if like court has stuff on Tuesday and Wednesdays, if like maybe a Thursday would be best. Or
Okay.
I mean,
It
I was just thinking
also
of
has to coincide with their schedule
SRIs,
too.
yeah.
So we can go ahead and get a date set then?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm very open
Yeah,
to what
I'm-
you guys recommend.
I think we can leave
The
it at
week
their
you have
discretion.
nothing
Yeah,
on.
that's...
But I thought a lot of people might be on vacation that week.
Yeah.
Not me too, but there's a lot of meetings.
We'll leave that date
Okay.
at your discretion to be able to work
For the
it out.
treasurer's
with,
office.
Okay, all right, thank
Brett
you.
Florinda's discretion, yeah.
Okay.
Very good. I got a COVID update. I'll read.
Tim, real quick, quick question before we go to COVID update. Are we no longer doing public comment at the beginning of the meetings? I didn't see that before we went to open issues. I see it at the bottom, but I know we always...
I didn't ask for a change on it. I don't know who.
Okay, I didn't.
I didn't ask for a change on that. We usually always have it there, so.
I didn't know if you
We
wanted
could get it in there, or we can just wait till last. It don't
That's up
matter.
to you. I just wanted to ask.
We'll just leave it till last.
Okay, that's fine.
Everybody still has a chance to say what they want to
Yeah.
say, so that's the main thing.
Okay.
COVID update. Lorraine County Health Department. Positive COVID-19 cases of October 31st, a total of 22. I assume that's for the month. Now, all test results are reported to the state. If it's a home test, they're not reported. The infection rate for Lorraine County is 1.37%, which is considered low spread category. For Lorraine County, percentage for vaccination of COVID-19 are as follows: 54.2% have one dose of vaccine, 48.7% have 2 doses of vaccine, 23.2% is having booster doses. Vaccine clinics are being held at the health department, as well as additional clinics for flu vaccines. Schedule follows: COVID-19 vaccine testing, and it will be, and then it says flu clinics and COVID, all vaccines are free. November 10th from 4:30. This stuff here was just posted. It's a whole bunch of different times, but and the clinics are flu and COVID, and health departments partnering with any Department of Health and flu vaccines are free to community. We're working on doing more outreach clinics within Vermillion County to meet the needs of each community. So if you have any questions on that, please contact the local health department. Request for quotes and record handling and retainment format scanning. You got something like that, Brett, or?
We've got two entities that are interested in that. Are we wanting to go out for, basically it's a discussion here, do we want to go out for quotes or record handling or anything to that effect, and to what degree do we want to do that?
How much coordination have we had with the office holders?
I asked them as I was going around looking at the assessment that there's not a refined list of what's going to happen. We just know that there's certain documents that have to be handled differently, and they have to be scanned differently depending on what office it is, so it's going to be variable.
I thought the
For each
clerk's office
office.
had something going on, and some quotes, and the recorder's office had some.
They did, but each office will have a different set of standards that they'll have to comply with. I would suggest that we look at this as a service and not bid this out, that we, and if we're going to do anything, that we
We
interview
just want to
these,
get quotes from them.
we interview these companies, and then we decide on which company can best serve the county, is what I would suggest. So if we'd like to set up interviews with these, we can gather better data from each office if we wish, or have them send that to us, which might be better than us trying to go around and meet with each one of them, with what their requirements are.
I'm just wondering how much input each office holder has had about this, is what I'm trying to say.
Just two of them that I know of that have asked for scanning.
The clerks and
Basically,
recorders,
it's,
the clerk and recorder.
I don't know from the recorder, but the surveyor and the clerk.
I know in the recorder they was wanting to do that too.
Well, there are a lot of them wanting to do it, it's just.
So what I'm
cost
saying
and-
is this going to be, they're going to give us quotes for do X amount for X? Is it a blanket quote?
I've not talked with the Crowley company as to how they're gonna do it. The other company, which is, and I don't remember their initials, but, they provide a quote for each office. And I don't know how Crowley does it.
I have no problem doing the research on it, find out some information on what's available.
Do we wanna interview these, is what I'm at, where we're at. We have two companies, there may be more out there, but we can solicit more if we wish. I wouldn't suggest more than three, but.
Yeah, I'm fine with what you suggested.
Is there a date in which you guys can, is a better date than others? This can go into next year for that matter, but we probably, we got 2 more meetings left this year.
Yeah, I mean, I guess just maybe schedule something and get some dates, and I'll see if I can try to make some of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there a third, if you come up with a third company, let me know who
Okay.
it is.
Okay.
Sounds good.
It's something that really needs to be done.
If you're in concern with our office, I think Lau is going to go into something with the scanning, so we may not need it. Just depends, we're waiting on them.
Well, I still, what he's doing, he's trying to get a,
No, I meant for just our office.
Yeah.
Just our.
well, we'd like to know because.
Well, it's important to be somewhat consistent.
But we already have Lau, so we would just automatically put it in our system.
Okay, what we're trying to do, we're trying to get quotes that will handle everything in the county, where maybe we'll get better deals, so that's what we're looking at. I'm just wondering,
It's something that we'll discuss. Maybe it's
Those are
something
open,
that has to be
aren't
done independently, but we'll.
Those are there.
Each office has different requirements as to what they need and how they need it to be scanned. And, you know, we also have the issue of
I don't
storage,
know.
electronic storage
Well, these
anyway.
are old ones. These are last year's.
why,
Those are last year's.
These
Are
are-
those last
these are
year's? There
21.
was a bunch of them on top of her,
Yeah, those are 2021s.
no wonder they're open, or last
money
year.
jar. They're talking about, I don't know, she's sending us text messages telling us to pick them up for her.
I thought something was right there. Better check that out, no further. No problem. Courthouse occupancy and space, RJ, where are we at on that?
If you guys want to meet one more time to make an official decision, maybe next week after Thanksgiving we get together for a meeting or work session. If you guys want to do that next week.
Work session will be fine.
All right, I'll put on my work
Just need to
session.
let- know, set a date, I mean.
Yeah, I think
we
next-
We have to get, I think we really need to get this done, you know what I mean, so.
Let's see, next.
You say next week?
Yeah, what's your, you working next week or Braden?
What do you think about it?
I was looking at my calendar
I
real
work
quick.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday night. So anything late afternoon would work for me. Any
Okay.
day, except, yeah.
What about, Britton, do you have anything, maybe Thursday,
Thursday would be better for me.
December the 1st, possibly?
December 1st.
December the 1st. Wow.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving comes before that.
Are you guys, I thought you were going to the IACC conference. Is that on that Thursday?
Thursday will be over with.
It'll be over with.
Yeah, Thursday will be over.
It's
Um,
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I think.
Yep.
Thursday, I don't think there's
Looks like,
anything.
let's see,
Really?
whoops.
I would try to go for one day.
I have a jail meeting at 10 o'clock. It's gonna last about an hour, 10 to 11 usually.
I can do something like, say, like,
What time works best for you during the day?
2 o'clock work Thursday?
Fine.
Yeah, works.
So work session at 2 o'clock on Thursday?
That would be the 1st.
Thursday, December the 1st. Discussion for, occupancy, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, we'll mark it down.
So I'll be working on that before, so. County engineer status, what I have on that, I'm still waiting to talk to Jim Meese about our part. He said wait till after the.
As far as the state's concerned, they've not come back since our last meeting with any additional information as their participation in that.
Okay. Bridge 94.
What that is.
Anybody got any
I don't
new
know
news
about
on
that.
Bridge 94?
I didn't put it on there. I don't know.
Oh, I didn't put it on there, I don't know. I guess just scratch it.
I will say, okay, we do have that on there for the, okay, that's on there. Okay, and we're gonna move on. The tax sale, we already took care of that. County Clinton Library Board, what's the situation with that?
According to what I have is that that was supposed to happen last June with recommendations. I believe on.
It's a recommendation for next year anyway.
They're on an odd, different schedule, I think. One of the two, I'd have to go back and look whether it's Newport or Clinton. I don't know who put this on there.
That's
You have
fine.
to sign, you have to sign that.
What?
We haven't made an appointment.
We'll just take that under advisement. It's for,
Letter in there for you
yeah,
to read.
it's for next year. The appointment won't be good till next year.
Is anybody here from the library board? Nobody?
No.
Bill Hartman sent the letter for recommendation.
Okay.
Question,
We'll keep it.
do you know if there are one district or two districts in the county
For,
for library boards?
no, I don't.
You got two separate
Yeah.
boards. think.
I know, but according to the state side, we only have one district, library district. And if that's the case, we're only supposed to have one board. And there may be some if and or but to that because of some language.
I don't think it's clear from reading the statute. We've got a board for the Clinton Library and a board for the Newport Library. And I think reasonable minds could differ on reading that code section on whether there should be one board for the whole county or one board for each library.
So it don't matter if we do or don't?
Well, it does because of the school board, the appointments by school board. Is that divided by school district then?
It doesn't really make it clear. It's
I'm saying
just
it-
not a well-written piece of code.
If they got two boards for two different places, I think representation with two different areas is better than one for both, in my
Well,
opinion. And it's
probably-
okay.
We probably ought to clarify it in our resolution or ordinance how we're setting this up because the library boards have, 3 of those appointments are by school board. And so, depending on where you put that dividing line.
Well, you got two school boards.
Yes, but then you have to make appointments from the south. There still has to be a definition of where that line's at. Because we make appointments and it has to be from that area. So we need to define what that area is. I think the easiest thing is just to call it the school districts, north district and the south district. or North Vermillion School District and the South Vermillion School District. But it's some nuances there that make a difference from where the appointments come from.
We can look at that a little further.
Am I not right?
I just, reading the statute, I don't think we're doing it wrong, but I think an argument could be made to have one board for the whole county. To me, it's 6 and 1. There's never been a problem with it in 20 years.
Yeah.
So
What
I
I
don't
meant
think
was
it matters either way.
It's the other appointments other than school board.
Yeah,
I would rather leave it the way it is. You can discuss, research that some more, bring back some more information. The dental, Florida Quality Correction Care, I think is for the sheriff's office.
Yep. Are we just gonna table that appointment for the Clinton one then?
Yeah.
Okay, alright. Memorandum of understanding for the sheriff's office?
Yeah.
The memorandum of understanding was a suggestion or a recommendation from the sheriff's office to include, they have right now memorandums of understanding on medical and, I guess, medical. This one is a continuation of basically that type of service, but it's under dental, and the sheriff believes that is highly effective as opposed to taking inmates out of the jail system and taking them to whoever might service their needs.
Just have the service provided there at the jail instead of taking them out.
And they don't have to take them out, they don't have to tie up an officer to transport them someplace and bring them back, and to find a place for that matter. So I would suggest that we agree to that memorandum of understanding.
I'm in agreement with it.
So if we're in agreement, then just let it, if you can sign it when you get a chance.
Everyone agreed with it, so I guess move on that one there then. Theater grant assistance, I haven't heard anything back.
We received a letter from the Artecta, or whatever the name
Yeah,
of that
it's
firm
some-
is, requesting to have a meeting. The letter kind of read that they had engaged Gerald's, who has done some of our grant work before, but they were wanting to have a meeting, and I asked them if they were paying for the consultant or how that was going to be paid. And anyway, I didn't really get an answer, and Gerald's chimed in that we really should have a meeting before it goes any further about it. So the question is whether we're interested in continuing with another meeting, with the architect and with Gerald's as a potential grant writer with us.
Okay. So we'll just wait to hear back.
It's up to us. It's in our court as to whether we want to meet with them or not. Do we?
I would like to meet with them.
Yeah, I don't have any objection with it.
I'll try to set a meeting up then.
Thank you.
Okay, discussion on ambulance contract for 2024.
We're coming up on FY23, the contract, right now we don't have, the council did not appropriate sufficient monies to be able to honor the contract in its full, going into 23. Well, I
Was
might,
it 470, 480, 580 or something, 575?
I'd have to go back and look, I
I
don't
think
know.
we'll see.
I just know it's, I think at last year's level, or the previous year's level, it maintained basically the same price. It did not escalate to the FY24 price or FY23 price. What I might suggest for this, and then also going into, at the end of this year, we also, at the end of 24, we also have a contract that we need to enter into if we're going to continue ambulance service anyway. That one terminates. It was a 3-year contract, and effectively it's over with at that period of time. I'd like to have your consent to enter into negotiations with Ileana for FY23, and then second is to start looking into FY24 ambulance services, and then bring that back to the commissioners for approval, assuming that we can come to some type of agreement or negotiation on both 23 and 24.
I have no problem with you doing that, bringing forth information and researching for us.
RJ?
On the surface, I don't have any issues with it, but I do think there's some outstanding issues we still need to look into. I've sent a couple emails to you guys with some issues with Ileana that I still think need to be dealt with before moving forward with any new contract.
what's Plan B then, if we don't have that?
I can't say that I have a plan B, Britton, but I do know that things can't continue the way they are with the current provider. I know that.
Could you put those, do you have those in writing, or can you put them down in writing, and I can possibly work that out?
Yeah,
Those
I've
details
emailed them a
maybe?
couple times, but I can put them all together in one form for you and email them again for you guys.
Are those have-tos, or, well, you might put on there to what degree, or, you don't have to answer that here, but to what degree those things are important?
Okay, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine.
Doesn't do any good to bring an agreement back that it's not gonna be acceptable, is what it comes down to.
Yeah.
So, I have no problem with him researching this stuff. To you, RJ?
No.
It's a little more than research, it's negotiating the contract, is what I'm saying. Not to be approved, but it'll be brought back here to be approved, but you'll be negotiating a hard contract. We're basically down to FY '23 of 1 month, a little more. But come January 1st, either we have a contract or we may not have a contract. I don't know what will happen at that point if we don't start negotiations now.
I have no problem with it.
Yeah, I'll just re-forward that one email because I mean there's just some outstanding issues that I mean I think we're all well aware of, and it just can't continue for any payment of any service for the county if they're not providing what they said they would provide.
Does those have resolutions to them? Comments, like whatever Part A, resolution of Part A is?
I can write things on there, but I mean more or less it's just what are the commissioners going to do? I mean maybe we write the contract a little bit more stricter, but I mean I think that played into the council cutting some of the funding for next year with some of these issues with the service. So I mean yeah, I can provide some resolutions or some recommendations with these, but I think as a whole we need to decide how we're going to prevent some of this stuff from happening again in the future.
We'll talk about that here in the next item. Yeah, I have no problem with it. If you want to research it.
I'll forward that stuff to you, both you guys again.
The ambulance log, RJ brought this up about holding accountability. I think something that we all of us are in favor of doing what's right for the county and funding being spent right. But we need to do the research, and I think something here that we started is the ambulance will be calling in shift change, and there will actually be a log there, and I think that is a start of some accountability.
And I
So
think
I'd like to make a recommendation that they provide that to the commissioners once a month.
yeah, I think John, you had a good recommendation in that email chain, didn't you, John? Something about like directing the emergency
Yeah.
management director.
My suggestion was get your 911 coordinator, your emergency management director, and the head of the ambulance service together and say you need to implement some kind of policy that if the required number of ambulances are not on duty, a county commissioner needs to be notified, and we need to monitor the situation. I mean, if it's that an employee called in sick, okay, how long is it taking them to get somebody in there?
Yeah.
If a piece of machinery broke down, what's being done to fix it? But I was thinking maybe instead of us trying to tell them what to do, tell them what we need to have happen and let them figure out the best policy to make that happen.
Well, if another commissioner agrees with that, I thought John had a good recommendation. Can we do that direction today? Can we direct the 911 director, the EMA director?
And I thought we already brought it up and talked about it.
Mark, are you aware of that yet?
I had talked to the 911 director, I don't know, 3 weeks ago or so, when we found out they weren't keeping track of those check-ins, and they are keeping track of that now. I haven't seen anything on it.
What I'd like to have is a monthly report sent to all 3 commissioners. Is what I'd like. I think that would be the minimum. And when something's wrong, that they alert all 3 of us that there is
Well,
an
I
issue.
think John said it best, have some type of policy in place, and if there is one out for 15 minutes, or if there's not one in the county
That's what I'm
for
trying to
30
say.
minutes, yeah. Or if there's not one in the county for 4 hours, I think the county needs to be notified.
Could you draft something up like that, or do we need to go prepare that ourselves, or have
Yeah,
a meeting
I can put together a resolution that you guys can sign off on, but the main thought was let those
Let
guys
them.
figure out the way to do it,
Right.
just tell them what you need to have happening.
Yeah, if you just had like a list of bullets, these are the things we want monitored, me and Jim can sit down and get Eric involved too. and figure out-
Okay, so you guys will prepare that, or the ambulance, or we need to have a meeting, or how are we gonna move forward?
Not sure what you're asking.
Come on up.
Like, if you guys say, you know, like
Identify
you're saying,
yourself.
if, Mark O'Hare, Vermillion County EMA, you know, county, we haven't had an ambulance in the county for 15 minutes, well, I think that's kind of reporting that's not really important, because that means they're out of the hospital somewhere, but whatever you guys want, a list of things you'd like monitored,
Okay.
and then I can sit down with Jim and figure out how we can do that, and then get with Eric and say, these are the things we need. One thing Britton's talking about, negotiating a contract, you know, if you guys are gonna try and push an issue that's not being addressed in that contract, I don't know that you can really do that. So, this would just be monitoring the situation right now. I thought that the conversation I had with Jim about 3 weeks ago, where they're gonna start tracking every morning when the ambulances check in, what ambulances check in and where they're at. Once they get past that, I don't think they're really tracking them, you know, as far as they're out on runs. They're, you know, there's two at Union Hospital in Terre Haute and one in Williamsport at the hospital or something like that. I don't think that's being tracked, but, and that would be a pretty intense thing.
I
for-
think the big thing would be trying to make sure they're all checking in on the shift
Right.
change.
And I believe they are. The times, you know, they're not checking in at 8 o'clock in the morning. I hear them check in at like 8:15, 8:45. Yesterday there was one at 9:30. The owner himself, Eric, the one morning called in on a Saturday, and he goes, you know, I've been yelling at these guys to get this done, and here I am working, and I forgot, so he was checking in at like 9:32. They're involved in other things. They might do a shift change and then go out on a run. Well, that's, you know.
Well, what my question is, we need to bring forth what we as commissioners expect and bring it to you, or bring it to the ambulance, or?
Send me a list of the things you want, and probably send it to all three of us, Jim, me, and Eric, so that we all know what we're dealing with. And we'll sit down and figure out some way to monitor it and let you know. Letting all three commissioners know every time something happens, I don't, you know, you're gonna be sleeping because you worked all night, and Britton's gonna be somewhere, you're gonna be working somewhere. I think if we just get it to your attention, you know, and we're probably not looking at, you know, this 15 minutes, this is actually happening, you're probably gonna hear about it, what happened yesterday, today, you know.
I think the big concern from my standpoint is making sure the county is getting what they're paying for. So, you know,
Agreed.
and the fact that, you know, if there's supposed to be 3 ambulances 24/7, they need to make sure they're checked in. And I think trying to track them after they check in is kind of crazy. Because I mean, the 911, I mean, they can track when Medic 91 calls in or 93 calls in, so they're going to know if 2 ambulances are on, you know.
Right.
But my big thing is just making sure they're checking in, or that shift change, to make sure there's 3 on staff every day, 7 days a week.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's what we asked for last month or so, and I think they're going.
Yeah, and I believe Jim's keeping track of that. And I actually saw on the agenda that you guys had the an ambulance status or something, like the next thing that was on there. And I thought that's what you were gonna have.
That's what we're
is
discussing
Review
right
that. But obviously, this is the cart before the horse type thing. If you want, send an email to the three of us. Tell us what you want. We will sit down and figure out a way to get it to you. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
We need to have an executive meeting to, or just have a regular meeting to discuss that. How could we?
I think you could probably, as president, just send a bulletin to the 3 of them. I mean, if that's
To do what?
On the.
to direct them on what to
one
do.
out of them on the call, and
What? That's an operational thing. I would think that we wouldn't have to have a meeting just to have that.
Okay.
but-
Yeah, I think you could probably just send an email with the bulletins.
I'll send it, your recommendation, me, and I'll forward to Mark,
All right.
okay?
We don't need to compile it because we may have different, like,
Well, I
we
mean-
want it in 10 minutes, he wants it in 15 minutes, but
Okay.
you'll have
Well,
to.
send it to me, and then I'll get hold of you guys and run it back and forth on the email or
Yeah.
something, I guess. Or just recommendations anyway.
You probably
County-
don't know this, but do they not know when an ambulance is in service? Or they do know when an ambulance is in service?
Who?
Dispatch. How did,
They're checking in the morning.
I don't mean checking in, I mean, they're on a run. Do they not log them in on a run and then log them back in service?
It's being logged as a radio log. It's not like they're keeping an actual, you know, 9:30, the ambulance is out at Union Hospital in the emergency room, 9:45, they're leaving Union Hospital, you know, they don't keep any of that, that's all on a radio log. The same as when they were checking in, that was on a radio log, and then you guys wanted an actual feedback from them, so now every morning when they check in, it's also on the radio log, and they're writing it down on a sheet. As far as when an ambulance is free to go on the next run, the ambulance itself lets them know that, you know, they pick up a patient, they take them to a hospital, that when they report in when they get to the hospital, they report in when they leave the hospital, they report in when they get back in the county, if they leave or whatever.
So they know how many ambulances are supposed to be, are available, then is what it
Yes,
comes down
yes.
to. Okay, and then who to dispatch if we're need mutual aid at that point.
Right, and they don't dispatch ambulance as per se as ambulance, they dispatch ambulances as north and south.
Okay,
And they just keep dispatching, you know, because they'll have to find another ambulance or call for mutual aid from another county.
I'll ask
Okay.
other questions later, thanks.
County annual bid opening. We got quite a bit here to go through.
You need an opener?
We're just gonna, what?
You need an opener?
He's got one
I
right
got
there.
one. It's gonna take some time.
If you want, I'll open them, you can read them,
Okay.
and then you can compile them back together.
This is the annual bid openings for material and services.
We'll hand this to you.
We'll get this organized here in a minute. We're just gonna open these and take these under advisement, right?
Well, not yet, but yeah, that's probably where we're headed.
So we got a code here from our proposal from WDS Wholesale Drainage Supply. On all these items, we just take these under advisement because the reading through every item they have here would be,
It would be the total, you need to read the total, if there is a total.
there is no total. Each
Should
one
be
is,
a-
these are
should be a-
itemized, you
Should be an
know.
itemized sheet on there.
So I'm saying they're
Bid
itemized
sheet.
at many, many different things, and I think we just need to take those under advisement and compare them. We have to read every one of them. That's what the question is.
Typically, you read the name and typically the dollar amount for whatever the line item is typical what you do. So it's.
That's what I'm trying to say, we got a lot of things to read.
$1 for fuel. There should be a summary sheet on each one of them, so it's supposed to happen.
I'll go
What
through
they're
this, it'll
supposed to
take quite a
provide.
while.
Hmm?
It'll take quite a while to go through all this. Okay.
So if you can't do it, then just read the name and then what it's for.
Okay, WDL wholesale drainage would be the quote for culverts piping of 10-inch through 60. Then they range from $826 on the high density to $140 a foot on a 60-inch, and 10-inch for different rating pipe for highway. 10 inches $854 a foot, and 60 inches $140.15. On culverts, it's quite a bit of range on those, from 12 to 66, and they run from $17.69 a foot to $154.79 a foot. Arch pipe runs from $23.73 a foot, $23.73 a foot to $144.28 a foot. Those all been compared to other ones. Okay, next we have some gravel for aggregate. They have a bid check here. November of '22, ice sand $3.25 a ton, fill sand $4 a ton, number 23 sand $5 a ton, pub mix, mix $7 a ton, gravel $7.50 a ton. Number 5, number 8, number 9, number 10, number 11, number 12, number 16, CA, and 5L, 53 roof pack screen, $6 a ton, pit run.
Unless
But-
it's a set bid, you can just read the name and then what it's for aggregates, and then we'll take it under advisement at that point. If it's just unit prices.
I know I'm reading each unit price.
Okay.
Pea gravel, $7 a ton, white rock. Number 2, $23.75. Number 4, $20. Number 8, $25.75. Number 11, $26.75. 53s, $22.75. 73s, $24.75. Riprap, $23.75. That's per ton. Chip and seal mix, 90% plus crushed 3/8, $20 a ton. Delivery, Lily Garage, $3.75 a ton. KU Garage, $5.25 a ton. That is from Robinson Gravel. If you want to read some of these, get one and alternate back and forth, it might help. Next is from Milestone. Surface number 11, $78 a ton. Surface 9, $77 a ton. Binder number 9, $77 a ton. And base, $69 per ton. This is from Milestone.
This is bid sheet from Park County.
Can everybody hear him okay? Make sure you're...
Park County Aggregates, Montana, bid sheet for aggregates. They did not use the summary form, therefore I won't read it. It's based on their sheets that reference back to that sheet. So, since it's out of format, then I'm not going to read it for you either, but we can take it under advisement.
Who was that from?
Park County Aggregates.
Yeah, good. Next we have Kenizer Excavating. For gravel as needed, pit run, $3.50 a ton. That's all he has on that one.
Milestone Contractors for asphalt materials. We did not ask for bids on asphalt materials at this point, or for the liquids. We continued the contract with their sister company, so therefore, put this one, we keep it, but put it on the side. Asphalt materials, I guess is the name of the company.
Okay, next we have a bid from, a quote from FS. Fuel for both highway and sheriff's department. Number 2 diesel, $3.57 per gallon, plus taxes, which we won't have, and that's based on 40,000. FS Diesel X Gold Premium Diesel Fuel, 40,000 gallon base is $3.64 per ton, per gallon, excuse me, and unleaded 90 is $2.81 per gallon. Bid option 2 fixed based on daily delivery price to LNFS bulk plants with 25 cents margin included. For example, price 11/21 day, diesel will be $3.899. And for gas it'd be $2.34.9.
S&G Excavating Incorporated for aggregate. They did not use the summary sheet. They do have only partial listing material of other aggregates.
Thank you.
From Lincoln Park, Stone. Let's go down through this real quick. Number 2, Stone, $9. Number 4, $10. Number 5, $13. Number 8, 1450 commercial grade 8s, 13 per ton. Number 9 is 1450. Number 11, 15 commercial grade 11s, 13. Number 53, 950. Number 53 commercial grade 9. Number 73 is 1050. Riprap, revetment, $13 a ton. Uniform riprap, $13 a ton. To Clay Barrel, $4. Delivery at Highway Garage at $15 a ton to Cayuga, and $13.50 a ton for Woolly Garage or District 1. That's from Lincoln Park Stone. Did Lincoln Park Stone, S&G,
I don't
is that
know.
the same company?
S&G had their own, I don't know.
I don't know if they bought them out or not.
This is out, Lincoln Park Stone showing out Putnamville. That's what it's showing out of. This is Dan Rippey, Clinton, Indiana.
That's for the haul.
Rippey Trucking, and for Transportation Stone, he did not use the standard form, but we'll take it under advisement as well. So I will not read how he's put that together.
What I was trying to do is make it so that local trucking companies could call back for us whenever they'll have a load and they'll save us some stockpiling.
Yeah.
It's better than taking a single axle truck up there.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
It worked out good. Here we have from St. Regis Culvert Company. They're not interested in bidding. Past steel markets, they have no guarantee uncertainties. You got another one over there, Brett?
Pardon?
Is that? I didn't know
This
you
is
had
a
a couple
separate
of-
one. This is Metal Culverts Inc., Jefferson City, Missouri. The prices are, they did use the standard form, 12-inch, 14 gauge, $24.15, 15-inch, $28.60, 18 gauge, $38.10, 24 gauge, $8.20. They didn't price it in 12 pipe, that's for corrugated metal.
That's all of them.
Okay. Suggest that we take these under advisement at this point, have them compiled into the summary sheets so that we make the comparative results.
I'm in agreement with that.
And we'll
Okay.
take it up at the next meeting.
Okay.
And I think there wasn't a summary sheet in the ones that we had up front in the front office. There was no summary sheet, so that's probably why they weren't filled out.
They weren't included with the bid packets. when
These
they were
weren't,
sent out.
but what I have in the bid, what packet I have, has no summary sheet in it. It wasn't given to complete, so.
The specifications called for to use the itemized bid sheet, but they weren't included with the packets that were sent out from the county. So I think that's why they're all.
Don't have the summary sheets.
That makes sense.
One of them
I
had,
to go get it because the one I had, I knew I didn't have the summary sheet.
well, it made it a lot easier if we had those, but anyway. Thank you.
And Lincoln Park is owned by S&G.
Oh, yes.
Say again?
Lincoln Park is owned by S&G.
That's what I thought. Okay. Second round of community crossing grant status, I think that is coming out this next week. I think the first week of December, we'll know where we stand on that award.
It's supposed to be December 6th is the date that they've posted anyway. That's
Yeah,
supposed to
you-
be
you
available.
got right, next week. Next week. Community grass for year 23, community crossing grant assistant contract.
I asked Melissa for a contract, but I've not seen it. I think she's been sick though.
Yeah, she has.
Do
We'll
we-
see about getting that for next meeting.
Yeah. That'll start January 1st, the second, or the first round of 23.
The status of NOFA bridge funding application, Bridge 32, 1050 Norton Creek.
Clark Dietz is still in preparation of that, so it should be submitted before, I forget the date now, it's December something, December 1st, actually.
Okay.
They said
County,
they'll have it complete.
you done with that?
Yes.
County Commissioners appointments, want to get an executive session, talk about that.
For 23, yes. FY 23.
Oh, if we
What
could-
date?
That one meeting we're having, if we could do it the same day,
So,
you know, I mean.
yeah, what do we schedule Thursday at 2 o'clock?
It's fine with me on the 1st.
Yeah, do you want to schedule it after the work session? Immediately following the work
How you
session?
guys want to do it?
I just gotta,
Either side of it's fine with me. I just
What
have
works
it at 10
best for you?
o'clock.
whatever meeting, let's start, whichever one we do, let's start it at 2 o'clock, whether it's the executive session first and then go into the work session, or.
Well,
vice-
the executive session, we need to put a notice at that time and date, right? But the other one, we really don't have to for,
An executive session, you have to not only specify the time and date, but you have to specify which subsection of the code that you're meeting under. Your work session is kind of one of those gray area things where you shouldn't close a work session to the public, but you don't necessarily need to allow public comment and stuff. You should still post a notice of when you're going to have it.
so we posted the times for the executive session, and we're flexible on the other meeting after that. if we got
You
the
can,
time.
so like if you want to do the executive session at 2 o'clock, we can list it work session to immediately follow
Yeah.
the closure of the executive session.
That sound right?
You can like open the door up.
Mhm.
and-
Yes.
Okay,
So 2 o'clock will be the executive, and then we'll
Yeah.
follow with the work session.
yeah.
Yeah, but I just got to be out by about 5:15. I got a referee that night, so gives me a
And-
few hours.
Can you make sure Brenda gets that?
All right.
Okay. Britton, this is yours, I think, Department 1. Is that for that truck purchase, that used truck?
Yeah. Need to read it. County Highways purchasing 1,500 Dodge Ram pickup truck, crew cab for $35,699. The truck that this is replacing is going to be, if it's not already, basically transferred over to District 3 to well, I don't know if it's replacing or.
Yeah, it's replacing a
Replacing.
Yep, transmission went out of the truck, so yep.
An older, or a.
I don't know.
Depreciated model.
Yeah, depreciated. Yeah.
So, anyway, just need to make that public.
Okay. You have a problem with it?
Yep.
Okay. We're going to start on some public comment here. I do want to say that I've talked to Larry Sean's office, and I've talked to some people at the state about the 163 bridge that over Burlitz Creek. The state or the Department of Historical Preservations, and I forget the department, they changed the classification on that bridge to make it a one-lane bridge because it's supposedly a historical bridge, and the public is not in favor of that, so we're seeing what we can do about keeping that from happening. There will be some meetings, and there will be a sign-up sheet for people who do not approve of it. We'll be approaching businesses and get different letters of recommendations to keep that bridge two-lane, because no one in the county is in favor of that. When we first came out with historical preservation about this bridge, in my opinion, most people thought it was going to be a sign put up, this is a historical bridge, and something you can read when you walk up to it, and they did not send the information to Britton, which is in his district, so we have some issues there. We're trying to get something done about this, so it's an ongoing project. You want to say anything about that?
No, you already said it.
Okay.
We did approve a shot clinic, I think, for the Board of Health here. Did they set a date for that?
I think it's on a Saturday. I'd have to look back in the emails from Paul Market, but
I didn't know that they had a date yet.
yeah, I think I think it was with the state. The state more or less had a few dates in mind.
Okay.
Maybe put that on the county website too. Is it already on there? Awesome.
So if you guys don't have any comment, we'll open it for public comment. You guys don't-
I'm done, I think.
I don't.
I'm not.
Yeah, I don't have anything off the top of my head.
Okay. Public comment, anybody got a public comment, please come on up. You got to come up here and identify yourself. Thank you very much.
Melissa Carty, Vermillion County Highway Department. I've got a couple questions about the bids that was accepted. The one for Milestone, we did receive one for Milestone, didn't we?
I think a couple.
Okay, the reason I'm asking is because I heard the comment that you had made about asphalt materials in Milestone. Asphalt materials is where we get our oils from. Milestone, they have oils, but we also get our winter and summer mix, which is the blacktop. So they do need to be, they're not grouped in together, is what I'm trying to say. Milestone will need to be accepted as a bituminous, not necessarily bituminous oils. So I just want to bring that to your attention. And my other question was on the trucking. Normally, in the past we haven't accepted bids on trucking, so I guess my question was there any other trucking firms? I mean, were they notified? Since this was like the first year that we have done trucking services.
As far as I know, Trucks Inc. was notified, Rippey was notified, and it was advertised accordingly.
Okay, because I know we've had a few other people had asked before, that not within county. I know Langley, a lot of times Larry Langley will haul for us, so that's why I was just wondering if.
It was open, if we did not restrict it from anybody, it was
Okay.
public. It was sent to ones that we knew of, but,
Okay.
or I knew of anyway. I
Okay.
knew of one.
I think that since you're with the highway department, you could be part of that conversation, checking that stuff also for us.
Mm-hmm.
So if there is an issue, I think you ought to be alert to it too and let us know if you see something instead of coming to this situation where we might be too late. So if
Well,
you see something like that, please address it with us.
I
and we
would,
will-
but I did not know that trucking was going to be in the bids. When I sat down with Britton with them, we didn't discuss really the
You
trucking.
didn't see the final bid document?
No, I did not. No.
Why did you should have asked for it then if you didn't
Well, I
see it.
didn't realize, so I didn't see the final ones. So that's why I was a little wondering about it, so that's why I brought it up here.
Well, next year, make sure that you review these,
Yeah.
for, if nothing else, for errors.
Yeah.
But,
Oh, I'd be more than happy to.
I know I
but-
asked for information, I didn't get any, I don't think I got from D1, D2, or D3 information on culverts, aggregates, on quantities anyway. So if we can do that for next year, it'd be nice to know what we've spent, or quantity-wise,
Yeah.
not necessarily dollar-wise, but quantity-wise of what we're doing with all those line items that we're going out. It'd be helpful anyway. It gives some perspective to bidders too, or however it's being led, but, if we're doing 1 ton versus 1,000,000 tons, there's a difference between the two.
Yeah. Yes, there is.
Thank you.
Okay, well, that's just what I was wondering.
Thank you.
Unknown caller.
Sorry, I gotta turn this thing off.
Also, we can talk about this without being in a meeting too. You can call me.
Okay.
I do have a notice on that flu vaccine. I want to read that so people would know. The courthouse is going to be December the 17th. Here at the courthouse from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. Use west doors. Also be at Dana Firehouse December the 3rd at 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. So, of course, you got 3 other dates on at the health department: November 18th and November 30th, December the 10th at 9 a.m. and 7 p.m. So, can you probably push that outside? Might be nice to put on the.
Annie, can you send me a copy of that? Oh, thank you.
Can I clarify, the Vermillion County Library encompasses all townships except Clinton Township. Clinton Township is the only township the Clinton Library serves.
So it is a district. Where'd you find that out?
Heard from the librarian and Eric Scheidler. He just sent that to me.
Could you
Thank you
forward
very
that to
much.
us? Thank you. So we can have that for reference?
Well, it does make a difference, on these appointments. I'm gonna have to look that one up, if it's a
Mm.
township only.
Yeah, because then you're going to be
But
This is Vermillion County Library. That is Clinton Library.
So it'd be Clinton.
I understand, but it makes a difference on how those appointments are made.
Do you have to live in that township?
I had that one, I didn't look at township, I only looked at districts. I
Yeah.
didn't think we would have just a township library,
Well, it's something to research.
unless you all know. I don't know.
The what? Oh, yeah.
I believe there is a distinction on township.
Oh, I do need to, yeah, before you ask, unless you want to ask for public comment again. Oh, yeah, but I got
I have one. I had a couple things.
Only
my name's
one.
My name's Nathaniel Gill, I'm representing S&G Excavating in Lincoln Park Stone. And, well, I know in the past, we haven't done a lot of business with you guys. I know probably the White Rock, you might purchase from us, but there were a few things I wanted to point out. Sometimes it's not important for the county, and sometimes it is. But when we bid, Hendricks County or Montgomery County and things like that, they go through a process to vet out all of the aggregate suppliers to make sure that they're actually approved and qualified by the state of Indiana to be, or a CAPP or CAP program to be a certified aggregate producer. And I just wanted to mention, I know you keep it close to home and take care of your companies and families and businesses in this county, but Duncan Robertson was just purchased by Three Brothers Excavating, so Robertson's don't own that gravel pit anymore. Crane Excavating or Park County Aggregates, and Kneisers. All three of them, their prices are very cheap, but none of them are certified to produce NDOT material. And there will be lots of jobs that you guys do in the county that may not require NDOT qualified materials, but those producers are not qualified through the CAP program through the state of Indiana. So if they list a 23 sand, like Park County Aggregate, they don't truly have a 23 sand. They'll tell you they'll sell it to you for $4.50, but it's not qualified and certified by the state of Indiana with gradation reports and such. Just a heads up.
But you're sure on what you're stating?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. This is what I do all the time. Then you don't have to. You can buy any product you want, right? It's completely up to you guys. But I just wanted to call that out. We run into that all the time, where especially on limestone, we have Lincoln Park Stone in Putnamville and another quarry down by Bloomington, and we run into that all the time where people will mine a really low quality limestone that's a commercial grade or not a Class A stone, and will submit it to counties, and the counties will buy it up like crazy because it's a lot cheaper. But then they end up getting their hands smacked because a state inspector comes by on a job where you're replacing a culvert on a county road or something, and they're tuned into the project, and they make them tear it all out and use the proper materials. That stuff happens. Marion County, Hendricks, Montgomery, things like that, where Hendricks County this year they're spending like $700 million on their own bridge replacements. And yeah, there's NDOT people there looking at that stuff. So I just wanted to note that. We'd love to do more business with you, and I know we're more expensive, but I just wanted to, maybe those are some details you guys could look into and think about.
Is that NDOT not already referenced the NDOT spec?
Yeah, it's all referenced in the specifications, but companies still submit a bid.
Well, I meant with what we sent to you, though.
Yeah, you guys call it,
That's what I thought.
your
Okay.
specifications call for all NDOT materials, and every other county does too, but other companies will submit a price to you for 53 stone, and it's not NDOT material.
Well, there should have been two material types. One that was an NDOT, and then the second was, I really don't know what it is.
Yeah, commercial grade, lower quality stone. I just wanted to call that out. And then the other thing with the trucking, we keep all 50 trucks of LJ and DTI moving every single day. If you see a truck of theirs going down the road and the material in the back is coming from us. I don't know how, I think that the tonnage, because we'd love for them to haul for you guys all the time, the more that we can help each other out. I think just like you were commenting, the amount of tons that you're going to have a trucker haul for you throughout the course of a year is a very, very important number. If that contract price goes over a certain amount, then I think the Henry-Bacon Act comes involved in prevailing. You'd have to have a union trucker if the amount of trucking is over a certain amount in that contract. So you might want to watch that too. Like I know Rippey's not union, but if you're going to have a trucking company haul $300,000 worth of business for you in trucking over the year, that's definitely over the amount, and it would have to be a union company because it's state funds, or a prevailing wage. It could be a non-union company, but they'd have to pay union wages. That was just another thing I wanted to point out on the trucking.
There's nuances to that, sure.
Yeah. So I just, I want to share those things with you. I just try to make a comment and maybe try and help S&G and
Well,
LJ
the
and
majority of
DTI.
our white rock comes from you guys.
It does, yeah. Yeah.
There's not very many people around selling white
They-
rock, so what white rock we get, we're getting it from you.
Yeah, it's hard to beat our prices too. You know,
There's not a lot of suppliers out there.
Yep, and you can't even keep anything on the ground right now. It's crazy, but
So when did you guys acquire Milestone?
so you know the
Rock Park.
U.S. aggregate quarry, 243 quarry that's over there. So my boss, he opened that up and developed it, and he built that entire quarry and then sold it to U.S. Ag. Or he did it with a deal and had an option to get out. And so he built that quarry and got out and sold it to U.S. Ag. And then we did a bunch of drilling across the highway right by the racetrack. And we identified, about a 1,500 acre farm that had really good stone in it. And we offered an option to that farmer. Their last name's Bridge, or Bridges, like the restaurant and everything in Greencastle. We offered them a contract and an option and said, hey, if the stone's there and we like it, we can tear up your whole 1,500 acre farm. And they get a check for about $90,000 a month right now. So both of those quarries we built ourselves. We dug the first bit of dirt off. We moved the corn out of the way and started it all. Yeah. And then the oldest and most historical quarry in Indiana is the Steinsville Quarry, which is just north of Bloomington, down by Ellettsville and all that. My boss is able to purchase that as well, so we run that entire place as well. And a dimensional stone, you know, like your cool little benches and things like that. There's a business there, Indiana Carvers as well, that runs out of that quarry. S&G, Kenny Steiner and S&G Excavating, Lincoln Parkstone. I mean, he's as big as Martin Marietta, but he's just a big old jolly guy. Lives down by the river in Terre Haute, you know.
I remember hauling out their soft plant, and then they hit coal down there when they was taking the.
Yeah, then they mine coal for 10
Yeah,
years.
they mined coal.
And then they run out of coal and they go back to sand and gravel. So yeah, he just likes digging in the dirt. But I just wanted to come here personally because I grew up in Vermilion County. I went to high school at South Vermilion. Ernie Pyle with Chuck Palmatier in the 5th grade. My grandfather was a commissioner for almost 30 years here, Elmo Riggin. And I'd love to help you guys out in any way I could, even when it comes time to, you know, if our prices aren't the best, give me a call and we'll see what we can do for you. Okay.
What we was trying to do is try to eliminate running these single axles up to 30 at White Rock, which is total.
Yep.
If we get people, we find some people that are trucking and they can own their
Backhaul it for
conveniently,
you.
they got backload where it makes it convenient for them. We could get a price, we get a large amount of bulk material moved without, you know, for probably
Yeah, for half the
half the
freight
price.
price. Yep. Yep.
So-
Yeah, like to Terre Haute right now, it's $9.50 from Putnamville per ton for freight. But if you do a backhaul, we can do it for $4.50. So less than half the price.
That's what
Yep.
we're working at.
Yep.
That's what we're trying to get.
All right. Well, if when the bids go, and I wanted to make sure too that after everything's done here, if I can look through the other aggregate bids and take photos and just document those prices.
I was hoping that we'd have it all on that summary sheet, but it would've been easy to compare, but it's not gonna be as easy now, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
So-
I mean, I can take pictures of it and view the numbers though, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
That's
all
not a
right. Thank you.
problem.
That's all I have. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you for
We'll have
coming.
a summary sheet too,
Okay.
makes it harder to be able to make comparisons when they didn't follow, when the summary
Yeah, I
wasn't
know. That's my
followed.
job though. My boss will want it by 3 o'clock this afternoon. I'll have a summary sheet for you. I could email it to you if you want.
Sure.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah, thank you.
Sure.
Very
You'll have
good.
I'll email it to you. I got your email.
Good luck with it.
Yes.
Sometimes they call things that are not in the book, so.
Okay, if you guys don't have anything, we're gonna move on to public comment.
One quick thing for public comment, the tattoo ordinance, where are we at on that? Are we putting that on the agenda next meeting, or?
Haven't heard back from Dr. Market. I've spent probably 6 hours going through it, and
Okay.
she's not responded back
The
yet.
shop owner had reached out to me and asked if it was gonna be on the agenda, and I said, not to my knowledge.
we need to get on the agenda for next,
Yeah,
next
he just
meeting.
sent us a message. when-
It's not in our, it's in Dr. Marcus.
Yeah, she's the one that needs that.
She needs to respond back. Whenever she does, we'll put it on the docket, whether, I don't know if she's gonna do it. I thought she was gonna do it last time, but haven't come
Okay.
back.
You could send an inquiry to her if she wants it, but.
Yeah, okay, that's
It's
all I
not in
have.
our- It's not in our lillywag
That's
yet.
fine.
Okay,
That's a technical term.
next we have open comment. Anybody? So if you do, come up, identify yourself and speak. Morning.
Morning.
Bruce Ackerman, Vermillion County Prosecutor. Tim, I thought that in an exchange of emails, you said we would be on the agenda today on the email search question, or the communication policy, I guess is what we can call it. But I wasn't on the agenda, so do you want me to go on the agenda at the next meeting, or do you want to take it up now?
Well, we've been advised, I think, if you, without, well, I guess I might as well say it.
I have a policy that John Spur wrote. All right, the judge wanted to be here, but since we weren't on the agenda, she went ahead and went on the bench. I don't want to speak for her and where she sent it, but it was reviewed. There were a few changes made. I assume you guys have those. I didn't write it. I didn't make changes to it. All right, so that is what I wanted on the agenda to talk about today. Do you have a copy of it, or do you want a copy of it to review?
Yeah, we'd like to have a copy of it for you.
Yeah, I think, John, has everybody emailed a copy of that?
I think so.
Yeah, I think you got a copy of it. I think it was in your email. There's an attachment on the judge's email from the Office of Court Services, and they are the folks that made some changes to what John had given us. So it's not my document. I didn't change it. So that's what I wanted to talk about today. So she'll make you copies. You can review it, talk to John, and then maybe we meaning me and the judge, can get on the agenda next time. Okay.
Good.
Good? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else got any public comment? Okay. We have
Motion to adjourn?
Second?
motion.
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you for attending.
Hey, Melissa? Would it be uncharacteristic of Walker to not send in a bid document?
I just figure if the.
That's what I'm wondering about, because we get quite a bit of, pug mix and stuff from them, so.
I wrote a good policy, because they're gonna change it no matter what you send them. And when I read about through it, I didn't see anything wrong.
I was a little concerned when I didn't see that, because, they're right up.
I will try to go back.
The Rogers
Surprised about Rogers Group.
Yeah, because they do a lot of